Hey, Torah sisters, it's me, Amy. I am here with my friend, Jenn Dubey. Now, Jenn Dubey is my friend in real life. She's not just my Facebook friend or my Torah sister from the interwebs. She fellowships with me on a regular basis. And so, Jenn, welcome to my channel and tell the sisters a little bit about you. Who is Jenn Dubey and why do you do this Torah stuff?
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me because I am a big Torah Sisters fan, and I was even before Amy was part of my fellowship. So that was awesome to meet her. I am just an ordinary woman who is in pursuit of truth. And I came into Torah, I guess it's been about 2 years. It'll be 2 years this spring. So we're coming up on that deadline. And I think my story is pretty similar to a lot of other people. I grew up a churched girl. Religion, church was not new to me. And right when the pandemic hit, I mean, I hear this from people all the time about the timing of when everything shut down and how God just started speaking to people. And it was about a month after things had shut down, and a huge part of my identity was the things I did at church every Sunday. It was being involved in all of the things. It was children's ministry, it was hospitality, it was greeting at the door. And all of a sudden my weekends felt really empty and lonely and sad. And I remember sitting on my bed it was a Saturday, and I was crying and I was just praying to the Father. And I was like, why is this happening? I am so lonely. I miss my people. And I remember thinking, and I cannot remember if I actually said it, but I remember thinking, I've lost my identity. Like there was just this piece of me that felt like if I couldn't be at church serving, I was missing something. And of course, weeks kept going by, and it wasn't the 2-week pandemic that everybody thought it was going to be. And I don't know how much later it was, maybe a month or so later, I really started just praying to the Father because he started showing me a lot of things. And one of them, even before the pandemic hit, was I really wasn't being fed the way I wanted to be fed. I had felt very stagnant, and like there was just something missing. And I loved my church, don't get me wrong. And I still think it has nothing to do with the pastor or the people I was with at all. They're still fantastic. But I just knew something was missing for me. And I think I shared this with you one day at Shabbat, and I think you heard me say it because you were like, ooh. But in deep prayer, just talking to the Father, like, what do you want from me? What am I supposed to do? I just feel so lost. And I still had this feeling of, I don't have an identity. Like, where did my identity go? And I really felt like in my spirit, I heard him say, you don't know me. Like, you don't know me. You do a lot of things, but you just don't know me. And that just, it shook me to the core. And I'm not saying like I don't audibly hear God speak, but you just know when your spirit is really strong and you feel something like he is trying to speak something to you and you can't get it out of your heart and out of your mind. And I kept thinking, do I just not know him? Do I not know what he wants for me? And, Facebook can be a great tool. And I will tell you more about that on a ministry I'm connected to later. But one of the things that happened was I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and this was probably again, a month or 6 weeks after everything had shut down, maybe even 2 months. And there was a friend of mine, Rhonda. I've known her forever, but I don't think we had actually talked. Like, Facebook, sometimes people are on there, but you don't talk to them on a regular basis. And she had some posts, and I knew she was a Christian, and her posts were really intriguing me, and I couldn't stop thinking about them. So one day I just messaged her, direct message, and said, hey, Rhonda, can you what are you doing? Your posts are like, what are you talking about when you say Torah? And what are you talking about when you're doing Shabbat? And luckily, God just provided that connection. I mean, so divinely and in his perfect, awesome timing that her and I were able to reconnect. And she was a friend that lives right here in Lansing, literally 5 minutes from my house. And so we had an opportunity to connect, and she really poured into me, and everything she said to me, it just made sense. And Amy, I was like hungry. I could not get my nose out of my Bible because I wanted to figure out what the truth really was. And as most of us know, when we really start seeking with our whole heart, just like his word says, if you seek me with your whole heart, you will find me. And I feel like that's just kind of what started happening. And I didn't have a name for it for 8 months. I started observing the seventh day biblical Sabbath. I started looking at the feast days and what he had ordained in terms of holidays. Like, what does the Bible say about when and how we should celebrate? And 8 months later, Rhonda said, hey, I found this really great group on Facebook and it's called The Portion. And I don't do much in there, but I think it might really help you. You should join. And it just 100% changed my life. It was a women's ministry that were women seeking Torah, full Bible, truth. And it has just been completely transformative.
That's awesome. What's the group called? Because ladies are going to want to go see.
The Portion, Portion, The Portion.
I'll put a link to that in the description below.
Yep, you can put the description below. When I started in the group, actually, there was only like 450 or 460 women. And one of the crazy things that we've seen, well, crazy like God crazy, because he can do, immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. But we've seen the group grow and we're almost at 1,900 members as of now, which is February of 2022. We're averaging like 25 or 30 new women a week who are just having similar experiences where they're feeling like they're being called out of traditional Christianity, like they're looking for something deeper. They want full Bible truth, the way it was written from Genesis 1:1 to Revelation 22. And it's been really fun and fascinating and exciting to just watch it all unfold over the last 18 months.
And Yeshua is still the center of it all for you.
100. Yeshua is my Messiah. And, some of the things that I like to share with people, when you start this journey, you do feel alone. I remember the whole first 8 months that I just was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And does anybody else do this? And why do I feel like I'm so weird? Like my family doesn't understand. Some of my friends don't understand. I don't feel like I fit in anymore. But if you look, there are so many communities for you. And The Portion isn't the only one. I mean, that's my community. Those are my sisters along with my local fellowship. But finding community helps you to sort out a lot of the feelings that you feel when you first come into Torah and you don't understand why everybody doesn't want to do this. Because you start telling people, you're so excited, you uncover some kind of truth in the Bible and you're like, oh, I want to tell everybody, and they're not as excited as you. And you wonder how that can be, because knowing the fullness of the word, knowing that Messiah Yeshua is the Torah in the flesh, and he came to live it 100% perfect as a demonstration for us. And we say we want to live like Messiah, but we look around the world and it's like we're walking so contrary sometimes. So it can feel like a lonely road, but I'm just going to say this, sister, get close. Charlie always says this to me. Charlie is the founder of the Rooted Cafe and the Portion Show. He says, sister, get close. You are not alone, right? You're not alone. And I think God is doing something amazing. He is regathering people. He is bringing communities together. He is giving revelation of his word to people. And I love to share, I think it's Luke 22 or Luke 24, whatever the end of Luke is, I can never remember. But you read the story about, the disciples have walked with him, all of these years of his ministry, and they've witnessed miracles, they've seen some amazing things. And it says right at the end in Luke, it says, after all of that, right before he ascends, and then he opened their eyes to the scriptures. So one of the things that amazes me is I pray a lot and I always say, Abba, why didn't you show me this 10 years ago? I would have loved to have found Torah younger when my kids were still home, or, and then I have to remind myself his timing is perfect and he will reveal what he wants to reveal to whom he wants to reveal it. So we just live it out. We just walk it, we believe it, and we're full because of the lifestyle that we have.
And if you guys can't tell, we're so blessed that Jenn found us, and I'm so blessed that you live so close to me.
Yes.
You're just a joy to fellowship with and to do the feast with and stuff. She's just on fire. Okay, so now Jenn, tell the ladies about what is Rooted Cafe and what is your role in it and why is it there? And I'll put a link to this, ladies, in the description. So don't go searching right now. Just listen to Jenn. Go ahead, Jenn.
Yeah. So, Charlie started the portion, and I don't know how much before I joined the Facebook page had been up, but I think the cafe, it's been 18, 20 months, and it's cafe with a K, K-A-F-E, super cute. And so the Rooted Cafe is this platform that she developed, and it's a membership platform. There are some things free that are on there, but it is designed as a paid membership, and it's content. It's courses. It's amazing material from amazing teachers. We have teachers like Keisha Gallagher, Dr. Dina Dye, Dr. Halisa Allwine, and others. Gail Heaton is amazing, Brenda Stroth. I mean, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I couldn't sit here and name everybody. But these are people who have been in this walk for a long time, and they've developed courses and content that you can, if you're a member, you can go on at your own pace. You click on a class that you want to start, you go as far as you want to do, and the next time you come back, it says, would you like to resume your course? And you hit yes, and you pick up where you left off. So you have an opportunity. You can bullet through the courses, or you can go really slow. I've been working on, Brenda has this amazing alphabet course where she teaches you the meaning of all of the Hebrew letters. And she gets really deep. She's so good at this. And I've only made it to the third letter and I've been working on it for months, but sometimes I want to go back and re-listen. But the nice thing is, it's not like when you take a course and you have to do it live, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. So this is just a way to help people grow in Torah and understand the scriptures at a deeper level. So like Gail Heaton she is our ancient Near East perspective guru. And so she gives everything, like what would it have been like for them in those days? And why do they use that kind of language? Because we know in our Western mindset, when we try to understand scriptures, we don't get it unless we can take ourselves back to the time and understand what it would have been like to live in that culture. As a matter of fact, today, and I don't have an answer for you, but these are the things I always text Gail about. I'm like, go to 1 Corinthians 11 and tell me what it means about the lady with the head covering. Like, I want to understand, I want to understand that. And she's like, oh, Jenn, that is like so A-N-E to really understand that. Because even when you come into Torah, you're afraid that you're going to start learning things that aren't true again, or things that might not be biblical. And so you feel like you have to scrutinize everything. But what are we told? Test all things, all things. So even the things in Torah, you test and you look for witnesses in the Bible, because the Bible doesn't contradict. So if you find two things that contradict, your understanding of one of them must be off. And we're told, you need to go back and you need to dig. You need to figure it out, because all scripture is profitable. So it's there for your good, but sometimes that can be hard. So anyway, I'm getting off track, but the cafe gives women an opportunity to study, like really get in and study the word in a really unique and interesting way with women who are just gifted for teaching.
And it is for women. It's a women's membership site. Yep.
Yeah, the portion and the cafe are actually women. And it's, in the beginning, I know Charlie wrestled with that, like, how should we include men? But we wanted to create a really safe community for women to come in and feel like everyone feels like when they talk with Amy, they're talking with their best friend at their kitchen table. And we want to do the same thing. We want to create an environment where there's no question that's silly. You're not going to be mocked. You can ask girly kinds of questions, that you might not want to say in front of men or even in front of your husband. And you can get counsel if you so choose. I mean, some people don't want the advice of strangers, but some people are in groups for that reason. They're like, hey, sister, I just went through this, and what does the Torah say about it? Or what do I do about this? Or my family doesn't walk Torah. Does anyone else have, children or husbands, or, and what do you do? How do you handle Shabbat? And so it just gives an opportunity to dialogue.
Yep. And women love that. And we need it in one form or another. So if doing it like that is your flavor, go check out the links in the description. And the reason I hustled today to get Jenn on today is because I saw the Rooted Cafe had something come out today that's really cool. So Jenn, tell us the new thing that you guys have for the ladies.
Yeah, so we developed, and actually we did it in the fall, and we did like a trial run with members, but now we're doing a second batch or order of cookbooks. And I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but can they kind of see it, Amy?
Push it up a little bit. And then back towards your face a little bit. Okay, so clean eating and biblical feast, and then what's on the bottom of it? Show the whole picture.
Oh yeah, it just says the Rooted Cafe.
Okay, what's in it, Jen?
So, oh, I got really dark for a second there. My light's going to need to
It'll
readjust.
adjust. Yep.
Yeah. So it is a clean eating biblical feast cookbook. So what we did is a lot of people like myself, actually, I was the one who went to Charlie and said, can we please make a cookbook? Because last year, for the first time I was doing Passover, I'm like, I have no idea what I can make. What is clean? What is not clean? What are the traditional foods? And I struggled. I made unleavened bread and maybe like one other thing. And I just thought, I don't even know what I'm doing. And so many women were saying that. And so we said, okay, ladies, those of you who are seasoned, send recipes in. We want to make this a family cookbook. And so people from the portion sent in recipes, and we kind of weaved through because we had a lot of duplicates, like there were 10 challah bread recipes, whatever. And we just picked some and we put it in. And so for each feast, so we do have Shabbat recipes, and a lot of the Shabbat recipes are things that you can make on prep day. You can make the day before, and they're even better the second day. Sometimes that's a struggle.
Nice.
So you don't have to cook, but you have really good, hearty, healthy meals, and you're not just throwing together a sandwich, which is fine if that's what you do. But if you want something more, and then we've got a section for Passover. We have a section for Shavuot, Yom Teruah, and Sukkot. And a lot of our Sukkot recipes are campfire. Amy, I didn't have this last year when we did Sukkot together. Now I have all of these great recipes to do at a campfire. So I'm really excited about that. So it's February of 2022, and I don't know how long they're going to be for sale. So I know when this goes on YouTube, you know, if you're looking at it 3 years later, it may not be available, but check it out. It's pretty cool.
Yep. And you said that they might become unavailable and then become available again. So keep checking. And if there's a place to get on an email list over there at Rooted Cafe, sign up for their emails so that you'll get notified maybe when they have new stuff. Because those ladies over there are moving and shaking and hustling and listening to what the community wants, like I am. And I love what they're doing. And I love that you're working with them and helping them, Jen. I think they're blessed to have you too.
Thank you. I feel so privileged to be able to do this with Charlie, the founder, Charlie Brown. I love her name. Just saying Charlie Brown is the best. But she is an incredibly passionate, wonderful woman. She actually was a pastor in a church, and I'm not sure how long she's been in Torah. I should know that, but she is just a great leader. She's also very passionate. And, you know, I thank God all the time for bringing women together like this, that we have support networks, that we have Torah sisters even. I mean, I'm always encouraged by your videos and even reading through the comments, and that's just another community where, you know, you're not alone. And it's so wonderful. And as women, we need to be lifting each other up and encouraging each other and walking this road together, because it's not easy, but it's so worth it, because God is good and he is faithful and he has a plan for all of us. And for those that he is gathering back into this fold and bringing them back to the full word of God and honoring his holy convocations. When I think about this, like, we are truly being set apart. We are women of valor, and that's so exciting. And it's not by anything we've done. I'm not taking any personal credit. But man, when I think about that, I don't know how I cannot be completely excited and on fire. So,
Yep. And I don't think that enthusiasm is ever going to wane in you, Jen.
I hope not. Yeah, please let it keep going in me. Like, I just, yeah, he's just been really good and really faithful. And you know, I actually, one more thing, and I know we're going to run out of time here, but I just want to share a story about our fellowship, because even before I found the portion, or it was when I was newly in the portion, but I didn't recognize I was going to make really good friends. Like my best friend right now, Robin Bales, I love her. She is in Oklahoma. I flew out there to see her for Hanukkah this year because I just had to meet her because she's become so special. But before that, I prayed and I asked God for 100 people that I could fellowship with. And I remember someone saying to me, well, why didn't you just pray for like 10? Like 100 is so many. And I just said with confidence, because my God is a big God. And I will tell you what, sisters, I have more than 100 people in my own state, more than 70 in my fellowship. But when we community together, we do our monthly community Shabbat, we are probably 150. And I was thinking about that last community Shabbat. I thought, you know what, Abba, you have not only answered my prayer, but exceedingly abundantly more, that I can spend Shabbat with all of these like-minded people. So I want to say that because I want to encourage you that if you are alone right now and you're like, but I don't have anybody near me, sister, pray big and pray hard. Pray
Mhm.
for communities like The Portion. Get connected to people on Torah Sisters. They're out there. As a matter of fact, I just had someone reach out to me in Michigan. And she's like, you're in Michigan? I have no fellowship. She's in Southeast Michigan. I'm like, girl, there's people everywhere around you. She's like, but I don't know how to find them. I'm like, you need to get Michigan Torah Sisters or Michigan Torah Keepers. You need to get on the Facebook page because you'll get connected. So, but people are looking and they don't know where to look. So we just keep praying that God will bring them and he'll do it.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what she's talking about, I started a Facebook group called Michigan Torah Keepers. And so people find us there and they join and they're like, I'm in, Kalamazoo, who's around me? And they connect like that. And also don't forget, ladies, on my TorahSisters.com website, there's a new map where if you want to start, please start a ladies group. Put yourself on the map and just have a meetup like at a Panera. Everybody who wants to come, meet me at Panera on Tuesday at 6:00, whatever, really casual, right, Jen? Like these things don't have to be fancy, but just because it's casual doesn't mean that it's not extremely meaningful. In fact, that's what Jen and I discussed tonight. We're like, this talk is going to be casual, but we pray it's meaningful. So thank you, Jen, for joining us tonight. I'm glad that the
Thank you
ladies
for
got to
having
meet
me.
you and get to know you. And ladies, don't forget, click the links below and go surf the Rooted Cafe stuff. And we'll see you later. Bye, ladies.